Okay, say hi. Hi YouTube. Hi guys, and welcome back. I have my chunky little baby with me, and it's been a long time since I last uploaded. I was pregnant actually, and now here I am with my 5-month-old baby. He just turned 5 months on the 3rd of September. I'm really excited to be back. I have been trying to upload videos and do that kind of stuff, but I've been having some trouble with softwares and things like that, so I just wanted to kind of sit down and have a chat with you guys just for a quick sec and just kind of update you as to what's been going on and, you know, what my life has been the last 5 months. So he was born on April 3rd, 2021. I'd like to kind of get into specifics as to like what happened. I can't really be the only one that talks about the birth experience because I wasn't the only one that experienced it. Everything was happening with my body, but I feel like mentally I don't remember a lot, or at least not as much as what Gio remembers, because he was sober in the mind and I was not. I was under medication and whatnot, and I think I was in a lot of pain, and it was so repetitive for me. You know, it was kind of like I was fine when second contractions come and hit, and you can't concentrate on anything. You can't talk, you can't eat, you can't do nothing. Like you can't be sitting because sitting doesn't help you with pain. Sir, you can't be sitting, you can't just stand. You need to be like leaning over, like trying to rock back and forth. Even bouncing on a ball was difficult for me to do on contractions. So yeah, I feel like for me it was very just repetitive. Like, oh, I'm in pain, I need to wait this out for the next whatever seconds, 45 seconds, whatever it was, and then kind of life resumed after that. You know, it's kind of like we press pause on life, and I was like, okay, I need to breathe this through, get through this, and then press play again. And so that's kind of how it was on and off. So April, middle of my spring term for junior year, and so it was a pretty chaotic time, not only because I had a newborn and I've never watched after a baby before, but then also because I still had homework and class and all that stuff to attend to, and you know, a household to maintain. So it was pretty chaotic when he came. It was in the middle of, like, you know, the peak of the semester, so that was kind of stressful in itself, and very exhausting, just because babies wake up a lot throughout the night, and we decided to do breastfeeding, or I guess I decided to breastfeed, and it's been a beautiful journey for me, and I love it and I enjoy it. But it's also very tiring on a mom, and maybe even on your partner too. I can't really speak for him, but I think it can be tiring too, because if I'm gone for an extended period of time, he can't really feed him, you know, unless I pump beforehand, and that means that that responsibility is left to me the entire time. So it can be challenging on both parties. May came and went, and spring semester ended. We spent time with family, and then for Memorial Day weekend, we decided to take a little like weekend trip. It was my family and us. And so we rented a lakeside Airbnb. It was a beautiful place. I'm gonna try to insert some clips or something if I can. And it was just a very beautiful place, beautiful location, and it seemed so peaceful, and we were really enjoying our time. A few family members and I were feeling kind of sick, and I was feeling like, you know, like sore throat and things like that, but I kind of just brushed it off for a second because the lake house had 2 floors, and the bottom floor, which is where my siblings, Gio and I, and the baby slept, and my parents were the only ones upstairs. So it was freezing at night. Like, we literally had layers on, like sweaters, long sleeves, blankets, like 3 blankets, all these layers, and we were like super close together to get the body heat going, and even with that we were still freezing. So I thought that I was just getting sick because of that. And in May, you know, the weather's still kind of changing, so it's cold one second, hot the other. And so I just kind of thought it was the hot weather. And then we started noticing that more of us started feeling worse and worse, and fevers were coming and going and things like that. So we came back home from the little weekend trip on a Tuesday. That's when I noticed that he started to have a fever. We decided to go to the doctor because we were first-time parents, and anytime that something like that happens, we go get checked out and then get any advice or whatever it is from the doctor. So he was like, well, I think it would be good to get tested. So he got tested and he came back positive for COVID. So then in turn, Gio and I got tested. Then we spread the news to my family. They got tested. Most of us came back positive. So we all pretty much got COVID, and it was pretty rough because Gio, the baby, and I were just here. And then eventually Gio started feeling sick too. And things weren't very great because we had to look after a baby, and he was sick and not feeling good, and we weren't feeling good. So that was kind of chaotic in itself. But good thing is, well, we started to get better. So June 1st is when we found out. As we were getting better, my mother was getting worse. So she actually had to end up being flown to a different city so that she could be intubated. So she was admitted to an ICU, so an intensive care unit. And it was a very sad and stressful time because not only were we sick and looking after the baby, we weren't working, and just to know that there's absolutely nothing you can do because you're in quarantine. You can't even go visit them. And even then, like, hospitals are so strict about having visitors over that even if we wanted to and even if we weren't in quarantine, they still made it a very difficult process. Days later, I was finally able to see my mother, and I was the only one that was able to enter. It's very difficult to see a family member intubated and in a hospital completely unresponsive and just completely sick, you know? So it was a very difficult time, and that basically sums up, I guess you could say, most of June. But within 2 weeks of being hospitalized, she was actually released. So, you know, lots of prayers, and we're just so thankful to the Lord that we are just filled with so many blessings, you know. He gave her a second chance of life. He's just faithful when we're not, loyal, loving, graceful, merciful, all forgiving. And I pray that I can be, even if it's just a little tiny bit like him. So that was all of June, pretty much mid-June to mid-July. We were out of town, and we were just with our families. It was just time that we spent with our families, and it was a beautiful blessing that we were able to do that, because would it have been any other regular summer, and it wouldn't have happened that way. Mid of July, we came back home, and Gio started his new job. That's pretty much what we dedicated to. Basically took us 2 weeks to adjust, and, you know, being back home, Gio being away full time and things like that. So it took us a few weeks to adjust. August came and went, and that was the last month that I was able to spend home with the baby. And then I started working. September came and school starts. So I just started school this last week. It's super amazing that I'm able to attend Whitworth for my 4th and final year. It's a beautiful blessing, and I'm just so thankful because I've grown so much since attending Whitworth, and it's a great school filled with amazing faculty, staff, and great students, really. So that's kind of what's been going on, and it doesn't seem like a lot, and it doesn't seem pretty crazy, but it's been pretty crazy. I guess I can just say that I'm just so thankful to be here with my family, and Amos is 5 months, and we're looking forward to him eating solids, and he's growing like crazy. A 5-month-old that is just chunky, and he's the chillest baby. I mean, this entire time he's pretty much just been kicking around and stuff. He is super active and wants to basically go out running, really. We're just blessed to have him as our child. He's just the best baby and the most handsome. Amos is definitely not difficult at all. He's like the chillest guy I've ever met, which is kind of crazy that he came out of me. And I'm so thankful though, because if he was like me, he would not be this chill. Thankfully, his dad is really chill, and he got that from his dad. That's kind of what's been going on, and from here forward, I really do want to continue filming videos and editing, and I really do enjoy it. It is a tedious and long process, but I do enjoy it, and I like to, you know, share a little bit of my life with other people, any advice or things like that. I am so thankful for you guys, and thank you so much for watching. It's truly just, it's great, and I love putting out videos for you guys. I know my audience is a little intimate, and it's beautiful regardless. I think it's time to go, but thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Okay, bye guys.